Our group implemented the engineering design cycle in several different ways. First, we identified the problem by reading the project assignment. Then, using the same assignment, we took note of the criteria and constraints, such as the launcher having to fit within a 4-foot cube. Using this criteria, we started brainstorming possible designs. Aided with the research, we narrowed down our ideas, then voted on a final design plan. During model construction, the original design was tweaked to make it stronger and more stable, but the basic principles were the same. While testing this design, it was noticed that the launcher didn't have enough power, so we incorporated a pulley system to double the power of the launcher and found success in that design.
Before you go, 'cause I'm not planning on going solo. Wake me up before you go. Take me dancing tonight. I wanna hit that high. Yeah.
Two major obstacles we had in designing our project were the trigger system to launch the projectile and getting enough power to launch the projectile 30 feet. For the trigger mechanism, we decided to use Velcro, and what we did was have two blocks inside a PVC pipe, and they were attached to Velcro. One block was attached to the pulley that was then attached to the weight, and the other block was the platform for which the ball launched. And when the pulley would bring back the springs that would bring back the block Velcro system, when it reached a certain tension, it would release and the blocks would separate and the ball would launch. For the power, we decided to build a pulley system. Theoretically, by building the pulley system, we would get double the power. And we definitely did see results from when we did not have the pulley system. When we tested it, the ball definitely went double the distance that it did before.
Hurry up, baby, moving tight. We'll go dancing tomorrow night. It's cold out there, but it's warm in bed. They can dance, we'll stay home and...
Unfortunately, our launcher did not perform very well the day of the competition. We tested it the night before and it was fine. It went 30 feet, did everything it was supposed to, but for some reason the next day it didn't do very well. Half of the time it didn't launch, and even when it did, the projectile only went about 10 feet. We're not sure why this change happened. As far as we could see, there was no change in our launcher from one day to the next. So the only thing we can think of is maybe if it was due to the temperature difference. When we tested it the night before, we did it outside, it was late, it was about 40 degrees Fahrenheit. But the next day at the competition, we were inside in a hot, crowded room. I'd say it was definitely in the 70s. The only thing we can think of is maybe if this temperature difference was enough to affect the springs to make them less stiff, which would in fact make our projectile perform not as well. If we did have the opportunity to do this all over again, there are really only two main things I would want to change. First, I would want to raise the height at which we dropped the weight. The max is 4 feet. I would want to go to that. We played it safe a little bit this time and only went to 3 feet. And I would also definitely want to test our launcher at different temperatures.
So everyone says, don't procrastinate, and it's really easy to have this go in one ear and right out the other, but do not underestimate the total time of this project. While you may be able to build it with a couple of weeks to spare, you might not be able to put the finishing touches on it or test it until the night before. For example, most of our project was built, but we needed to work on some of the details. Unfortunately, the woodshop in Thompson Hall was closed the weekend before FEDD due to the crafts fair. This really put a strain on us, and I wish we would have finished earlier so that the whole week or two before FEDD could have been used just for testing and tweaking. Also, I would personally recommend dividing assignments between the group members. One member could do most, if not all, of the building, one could do the video, etc. And of course, if one person needed help, then the group mates could join in. We didn't even think of this option until about halfway through the semester, and sometimes it was hard trying to delegate who was doing what, and a lot of time was wasted with people just kind of standing around, but no fault of their own.